Hi, my name is Brooke Berhanu. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and I'm a PhD student in Environmental and Water Resources Engineering at UT Austin. Today, I'll be demonstrating one of the experiments from the Clean Water Science Kit. The experiment will be looking at water filtration. This is a schematic of the typical treatment process for drinking water. First, the water is sourced from a water body, like a river or a lake, and pumped to the water treatment plant, where it's treated with chemicals that allow the individual particles in the water to cling together and fall out in a process called coagulation, flocculation, and sedimentation. After this initial sedimentation, the water is sent through the filter that contains anthracite, which is another word for carbon, sand, and gravel, which filters out any remaining particles. Finally, the water is chlorinated and then sent to the water system, where it then comes out of your tap. In front of me, you'll find all of the materials you need. Included in the box are 4 filter columns, 1 green piece of wax, 4 filter plugs, 1 piece of filter paper, 1 filter bottom, and 3 different types of filter media. We have gravel, granular activated carbon, and sand. You'll also need some items that you can find around your household: a glass, a funnel, a pair of scissors, some water, some cooking oil, and you'll need some extra plastic cups. About 5 should do. You'll also need some dirt from your yard or garden to dirty up your water in order to treat it. First, you want to take your media and rinse it with some water. This will help settle out any extra dust particles that would otherwise affect the filtration process. Once those are soaking, you want to prepare your filter columns. I mentioned before that you should have 4 round filter plugs. If you look closely, you can see that each of these plugs has 6 little arches at the ends. For 2 of these plugs, you're going to want to cover 4 of those arches with wax, and that way water can only drip through 2 of the open arches on the sides. This will help slow down the water to allow more effective filtering. Here's what the filter column will look like once the filter plug has been installed. In order to prepare the filter plug, take your piece of wax and 1 of your extra filter plugs. You'll notice that there are 6 arches all along the edge. You want to cover 4 of the arches with wax so that only 2 arches are left uncovered for water to pass through. So take your filter plug and gently rub the wax against the arch, like so. You should now see that the 4 arches are covered and 2 arches are left open. Now that you've prepared your filter plug, you can put it into the filter column, either with your finger or with a pen. Place the plug in from the top and push down until it's flush with the bottom of the column. Now it's time to place your filter media into the filter columns. Remember those 3 cups filled with your filter media? You want to pour these cups directly into the filter columns. This is where the funnel comes in handy. Next, take an extra cup that you don't need, just to catch the water that you use to rinse your filter media. The 2 filter columns with the partially closed filter plugs will be used for the granular activated carbon and for the sand. The other 2 columns will go for the gravel and your filter paper. Let's start with the gravel. First, take your cup of gravel and water mixture and the associated filter column. Remember, you want a filter column that does not have any wax in it. Place the filter column on top of the filter column base. Next, place the funnel on top of the filter column and pour the water-gravel mixture into the filter. If some of the gravel gets stuck in the funnel, you can use a pen to poke it through. Essentially, you want only gravel left in the filter column, and you want all of the extra water to filter through into the cup. With your gravel filter column prepared, you can move on to the sand. Remember, we're just cleaning off the extra dust from our filter media, so this water won't be used after this part. Repeat the same procedure with your funnel and pour the sand water mixture into a new column. You want this column to have wax in the bottom. Remember, we're only washing off the excess dust from our filter media to achieve maximum filtration. So repeat this process with the granular activated carbon and the sand. You'll want to use the filter columns with wax placed in the bottom for both the granular activated carbon and the sand. And use the final filter column with no wax for your filter to hold your filter paper. Now that we've prepared our filter media, there are just a few more steps before we can get started. Starting with your filter paper, cut one single slit starting from the outer edge towards the center. Fold the filter paper into itself and form a cone shape, and place the filter paper into the last filter column. This filter column should have no wax in the bottom. Now you're ready to construct your filter. Take an empty glass, one that you can see clearly through, and place it at the bottom. This will catch the treated water. Place the filter base on top of the glass. Next, starting at the lowest position, place the filter paper filter column directly on top of the filter base. Then stack the granular activated carbon filter on top of that. Next, add the sand. And finally, place the gravel filter column on top. Let's go through our filter stage by stage. The largest particles will be removed by the gravel at the top. Then, the very fine particles will be removed by the sand at the second stage. And the tiny microscopic particles that you can't even see will be removed by the granular activated carbon. This will all pass through the filter paper for one last filtration and into our glass with clean water at the end. Now, take your dirty water that you added the soil from your yard or garden to, and take your cooking oil and add just a few drops. Mix the soil around in the water so that it looks brown throughout. Start to pour your dirty water very slowly through the filter column set. Remember that there are wax closures in the sand and granular activated carbon, so the water will flow especially slowly through those at a drop at a time. This process might take a little while. As you're pouring in the water, make sure you have some paper towels handy. It might get a little messy. Be sure to pour the water extra slowly so that it has time to travel through the sand and the granular activated carbon. Remember, those filters in particular are partially covered in wax, so it'll take an extra long time for the water to pass through. If you're interested in clean water science, be sure to check out the other experiments in the Clean Water Science Kit. And if you want more information on our energy toys, be sure to check out the Energy Toys website. Thanks for watching.